Don't be weird.
Man, we have so much small talk to talk about in this opening outside of Bestway International. You just got back from Disney. We're talking about group chats with middle school or junior high. Where do you want this to go, Aaron?
Well, I just got literally off a meeting a little bit ago with a Grammy Award winner.
Oh,
Starting a live show and out of Vegas. And can I just tell you that I was like, oh yeah, you should check out our show today because I was kind of explaining. And then you opened it with that pig toy. So thank you for that.
Oh, it just goes to show you how big of professionals we are after 600 guests and all the networking that happens over in the chat screen over here. You never know if it's a Grammy Award winner or if it's a guy holding a dog toy.
I started the 75 hard today. Do you know what that is?
You have done 75 hard before.
Yeah, I have. So I'm going to be drinking a lot of water during this because I have to drink a gallon of water a day.
Ooh. Now, did you get your walk-in outside this morning?
I did.
There we go. You did.
Twice a day. You got to work out twice a day. Yeah. So I'm down 35 pounds and I've got a little bit more I want to lose. So I'm going to do the 75 hard and then I'm going to go back out in the public. You guys are going to get in trouble.
Yeah. 2024 is the year of Aaron Fulk and Bestway International.
Back on the market. I'm having a glow up. Hanging out with International. Here we go, guys.
Hey, Gale Sports Bar. We're coming to host a live show. Aaron's going to be out and about.
How was your spring break? That's where we went for spring break last year.
Really? Yeah. So that I did not grow up going on spring break, so this is new to me. So it was really special to take our children on it. But they're not in school, and when you have little kids that are 4 and 6, 15 days with them at home is too much. So we're very fortunate that we went to Florida.
Yeah, I also went to Florida. I went to Orlando with my 17 and 12-year-old. We did Disney and Universal and the beach, and then we did a day of the pool at our resort.
So as people are logging on and they are chatting, and before we bring on why people came on our guests, what are some pieces of advice you have? Because people like me, I have little kids. I go to the park early. When did you go to the park?
No. So so you have to, I feel like Disney's like, once you know how to navigate it, it's like you can really dominate Disney, which is what we did. Name the ride, we rode it, which is really fun with my kids' ages, right? But I have a couple friends in Florida that helped us navigate it all. But the thing is everybody goes to the park early because everyone thinks, oh, I should get there early. But if you have older kids and you can stay late, it's actually better. Like the lines go down the later in the day because everybody else has to leave for nap and they're tired and whatever. So we actually went a little bit later each day, let the kids sleep in, and then we just had a blast. I mean, we had so much fun.
You're the first person I've talked to. I'm talking to a bunch of people with little kiddos, though.
Yeah. We're definitely in different areas. See, if you were me and you would have just had kids really young, we'd be in the same. But now you're going to be raising kids. I'm going to be out living my best life. So.
That's right. And we will be speaking at the University of Kansas together on Thursday.
Hey, can you imagine being a student and you and I come in and we're like, this is what you can turn into, guys. Like,
you too could not take college seriously and you can do good.
They're like, can you please not tell them you dropped out, Aaron? I'm like, I would never.
I'm pretty sure Aaron opens up with I dropped out of college, but neither here nor there.
Yes, they still keep having me come in. Okay, here's the thing. If you are watching this amazing show, please tell us in the comments. Are you watching on LinkedIn? Are you watching on Facebook? Are you watching on YouTube? And are you watching us live? Or are you watching the replay? Let us know. We have made this a 30-minute show, which means we got to get started really quickly. We have gone, if you've not watched in 2024, where have you been? But we are now a 2-guest show with a clock. It is intense around here. Scott is allowed to ask one question. We have really changed it up. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to bring in our guests. And I'm not going to lie to you. forgot to run everybody's name, and I hope I'm going to say all the names correctly. If I don't, please don't be offended and just tell me how I say it. I am from Gardner, Kansas, so I am not very cultured on saying names that aren't Bob. All right, here we go. Look, Paul's here watching on TikTok for now. All right, let's go. Let me pull up this terrible music Scott loves.
Hey, Johnson County White Frat Guy. Love it.
So cringy. Okay, here we go. Our first guest is Xavier. Is that right?
He did. Yes.
And I got Shawn. Our second guest is Shawn. Hi guys, welcome to the show. Let me turn off the worst music in live show history. All right, Xavier, who are you? What do you do, and how do you get to Kansas City?
Hey, so I'm Xavier Hankins. I do fund development for a nonprofit, Literacy KC, which is right in the heart of Kansas City, right in Midtown. We focus on adult education. I've been doing that for several years. Prior to that, I was doing just grant writing for them. I've also done volunteer management as well. In addition to that, I'm also an entrepreneur. I own a company with my best friend called Brown Sugar Collective. And I have a small business I own as well called Innovative Pathways. So I am born and raised in KCK and have been here my whole life. I went to KU and made my way back to Kansas City, crossed over across the water and came to Missouri once my kiddos started in elementary school, just because I majored in French in college and heard of a school in Missouri that was a French academy. So I in particular moved to Missouri basically so my kids could go to Academy Lafayette, and have been in Missouri ever since. But prior to coming to Literacy KC, I worked in mental health for substance and drug abuse clients and did that for many, many years until I couldn't do it anymore. So now I just kind of support from a volunteer space in that area. But what brought me to Literacy KC was just working with people day to day in that space, mental health space, who couldn't read and write, and seeing that it's a need. And so to know it's an organization that supports adults in particular, just kind of brought my heart joy. And so how could I help? And I have been here ever since.
Xavier, you have 2 events coming up for Literacy KC. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so on April 11th, we have our Beyond Words breakfast, which is our student showcase. And that's where you get to hear from students throughout our program about their journey and what it means to them and kind of some of their successes and struggles along the way. This one is focused on our workforce development program. So students who have been through CNA classes, forklift certifications, and you'll hear from them. And then we have an event on April the 30th, a brand new event we're trying out, cornhole with KC Beer Co. So that should be a fun time, family friendly. I did not know that it was a big cornhole draw in the city. It's like whole people who buy uniforms for cornhole. So I'm so excited about that event. It's like new to us, but it's not new to the city.
People buy uniforms?
Yeah, it's like cornhole leagues. Like people truly compete for. It's like cornhole is a thing. So I've had to learn about it, Aaron.
Yeah.
Brown Sugar Collective in 15 seconds.
Yeah.
A women's networking group for women of color who are entrepreneurs, creatives, influencers, are really looking for sisterhood and community. That's where you'll find us.
It's the best place to find you guys on Instagram. I like your Instagram. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, yep. Instagram, Facebook are emailing us. But yep, Instagram is the easiest way.
Cool.
Shout out to Ashley. She holds our Instagram down.
Nice. Okay. Shawn, who are you? What do you do? How do you get to Kansas City?
All right. Thank you for having me. I am Shawn Flippo. I live in Lee Summit with my wife, Haley Flippo, and our 2 children, Lincoln and Lena. They will be 4 and 2, respectively, here soon. I'm an alumni of Northwest Missouri State. Once a Bearcat, always a Bearcat. I double majored in business management and marketing. As for work, I am the market president with Lever One. So I oversee account management and business development efforts here in Kansas City and surrounding areas. I have a heavy focus on kind of overall brand ambassadorship through community outreach and civic engagement. For those that are not familiar with Lever One, we're a Kansas City-based PEO. and that stands for Professional Employer Organization. We enable businesses to cost effectively outsource the management of several factors, human resources, employee benefits, work comp and risk management, and payroll. So all the fun things that business owners love dealing with. But this allows them to focus on their core competencies and really maintain the growth of their bottom line. Uniquely, by partnering with us, it doesn't matter if you've got 15 employees, 75 employees. Through our economies of scale, we allow you access to Fortune 500 benefits through our master plan. So really just trying to help them there. As for how I got to Kansas City, I've got my OU flag here. I was actually born in Fort Smith, Arkansas. It's a small town, but even smaller town. I grew up 10 years in Roland, Oklahoma. And I swear, if you drove through it, you wouldn't even know you've even visited. It's a tiny town. I think I looked back a few years ago, it was like 3,500 population. I'm sure it was much smaller than that while I was there. But in 1998, my dad's company was acquired by a Kansas City firm. So I hung up my boots and switched them out for sneakers and moved to Kansas City. Within a few months, I was at my first Chiefs game and knew that this was the place for me.
So as you made the transition to the market president, you've gone through a whirlwind of meetings, and we talked about the Big 12, and you're at a bunch of different events, you're a bunch of different golf tournaments. What's something unique about Kansas City and the business community you didn't know or that you enjoy?
Maybe I did know it a little bit, but I swear anyone and everyone is 2 to 3 degrees of separation away, right? I mean, if I really want to meet with somebody, they know somebody that I need to just get introduced to, and they'll be able to introduce me to that person. I'm lucky enough to be on the tails of Erica Bruin, our CEO, and within the first 9 days of being on the job, she had me inundated into 21 different coffee, lunch, and networking meetings. And so it hasn't been difficult to kind of weather the spiderweb effect of meeting people through networking.
We love Erica.
She's great.
We know Erica. Me and Erica are like this because of theater. So
That's right. She went to New York to study theater.
And I have theater children. Look, Dr. Katie Irvin says, hi, everyone listening in LinkedIn. Excited for today's guest. Katie, change your profile settings to where everyone can see your profile picture. Otherwise, it comes up like this. That's just a little fun fact for everybody because people can see anyways. They
Shout
can
out
see
to
it.
Catalyst
You might as well see your cute face, Katie. All right. Scott, it's your turn. Do you remember your question?
I only got one responsibility. I'm not going to mess it up. Xavier, what was the most pivotal point in your career?
I think the most pivotal point in my career was the moment that I realized I really like to be of service to people. Right out of college, I worked for Kansas City Housing Authority in the Section 8 department. And even though I was working with people and helping them as much as I could, it's a lot of restrictions, of course, when you do anything in the government space. And really, I could help you, but I really can't help you pass these guidelines and requirements that you did not meet. So getting into a space of like just more freedom and able to build community and be in community with others has been, very relieving for me. Like I just kind of love just being around people and working for the people and, just doing all things through community. So this space, being here at Literacy KC has really allowed me to, be in that. I just believe that without community, we cannot get anywhere. Nobody can get anywhere by themselves as much as they really think that they can. You always have somebody with you, behind you, on the side of you, supporting you to help you get there. And so with community, we can get much further. So I appreciate being in this space. So when I realized that was kind of a very pivotal point for me.
Good.
Yeah.
How has your French degree and background benefited you in your career?
Oh, probably not too much like I thought it would. I ultimately was like, I want to be the French ambassador when I graduate college. It did not work out that way after college. I was almost about to be like a forever college student at one point in life, but not too much. Every now and then I do help some students who speak like Francophone, just like with our ESL student population. So I can kind of help them translate, but not as much. My kids definitely let me know that my French is very rusty and they are quick to correct me. So not as much as I thought it would.
Well, Erin, I didn't know if you were asking that. So when you are hosted, when we host, if she can teach you some French at the bars, but that could be helpful. But the last question here in the 30 seconds is, you've served a lot of different positions. What was the most difficult position that you learned the most?
I think when I stepped into the grant writing space, grant writing was never on my radar of things to do. I had just honestly never thought about doing it. And so when Jillian, seen something in me that I obviously did not see in myself, it was a challenge and a blessing at the same time. So now I love it. Was surprised that it was so challenging just because I used to write papers for people in college. So that was like my side hustle.
Did anyone on the show ever used to watch Sex in the City?
All the time.
Okay, do you guys remember when she was
totally a Miranda guy, but
when she was the real person model, she had to be in the real person model show, and Carrie was really insecure about being a model, and her friend said to her, Stanford, her best gay guy friend, said to her, well, then you can't see in you what I see in you. That's my favorite thing. That's what you just reminded me of. When people see in us that we can't see, I just love that when they push us into it.
Yes.
I have not seen an episode or 1 second of it, but I have taken a picture at the front of Carrie Bradshaw's stairs in New York.
Me too. New York, yeah.
So my wife for
that. You should watch that episode.
So since we're all for a team here, that's a great segue, Shawn. What was the most pivotal point in your career?
There's a couple of them, and they both came at times of promotion. And I'll talk about the first because that's where I really cut my teeth into leadership. December 2013, young in my career, only a couple years out of college. And my director and mentor at the time pulled me into his office and hinted that there was a couple sales manager positions open, one in Omaha and one in Denver. Well, I enjoy snowboarding, hiking, biking, really anything outdoors. And so Denver ultimately became my first choice, but you can imagine it was, high competition. A lot of people wanted to move there, but I was piloting the program that they were wanting to launch in Denver. So they flew me out there and I got a chance to talk to them about some of the things that we were doing to successfully move that pilot along. At the time I was out there, I was able to do kind of a panel interview with some of the different managers. Fast forward a few weeks, I was able to land the job, and at the time became the youngest sales manager within the company. I had to drive overnight to Denver to meet the movers there in the morning. I had pink eye during that drive, so that was the worst thing I probably could have done. And needless to say, I was tested at every level. It was a union sales environment. Everyone I was managing had more tenure than me, was older than me. I came in as kind of this hotshot golden boy, and frankly, got my teeth kicked in. I mean, it was probably one of the hardest things that I had ever done. And, you've heard the saying, life begins at the edge of your comfort zone. Well, I was living life to the fullest. But a year later, I wouldn't have changed a thing. It was the greatest year of my professional development. Being tested at every level like that, it was really great. Frankly, just trial by fire, trial by error, learning from it. There's no manual or guide to say, here's how you need to communicate with people. Here's how you need to lead people. It doesn't matter what kind of education you have. You really learn by just diving right in. And it really was a pivotal moment for me. And it led to many more promotions and many more responsibilities to lead people and coach people. And it was great. I wouldn't change a thing, but it was a tough year.
What do you tell someone when you're about to give them a new job they're not prepared for?
Oh, be a sponge, be open-minded, be able to communicate. There's a lot of different things I would say, but the thing is, a lot of the times there's no set of preparation. Sometimes you don't even know what you're getting into. You just jump right in and be a sponge.
I like it. I would ask you what you learned about from taking a picture in front of Carrie's doorstep away from Sex and the City, but we're segueing into the next.
Say yes. Just say yes. Whatever they ask you to do, just do it.
That's right.
I don't know why that clock gets so loud. Okay, Xavier, what are your 2024 goals? Which, by the way, how are we at the end of Q1? I don't even know. What are your 2024 goals, and how can the Kansas City community help you get there?
Oh, so many. So, I think first, just for me, really just going with the flow, personal goal, going with the flow and just letting all things flow to me that need to be to me. And as far as just like professional goals, I'm just really trying to, increase in my leadership development. Shout out to Centurions. That has been an amazing program that I've been a part of, increasing my connections. Shout out to Top Gun. Scott has, I've enjoyed being a part of that. And then just increase awareness in the organizations that I'm a part of and the missions of those organizations. So, letting people know in Kansas City that adult education and low literacy is a real thing, and it does affect many adults that you might work with on your day to day. So even sharing that awareness and spreading that awareness, and also just supporting other people. I am big on just supporting others. And so how can I help someone else in this space? And then how can we collaborate and work together? Just because it's a lot of overlap. Kansas City has a lot of amazing organizations. So how can we kind of work together to get the need met? Ultimately, the need is the people. We, the people in the community, are the need. So how can we work together on that? And so raising awareness, of course, for Literacy KC, raising awareness on adult education and the literacy, always raising awareness for women's entrepreneurship, Black and brown businesses. I definitely advocate and support those. Any vendor pop-ups, please let me know about them. I love to come out and support in that space as well. So, yeah.
Fun fact, 7-8 years ago, Erin and I went to First Watch. It's no longer there, where we went to, and she told me that Top Gun looked like a white fraternity and sorority. I was like, well, yeah, gonna make sense. So that was how we first met. I don't know, Erin. We owe someone a drink for whoever introduced us. But can you talk a little bit more about your business and what your business does?
Yeah, so Brown Sugar Collective, we really just, we have 4 pillars: network, collaborate, empower, and flourish. And really just a mindset shift for what does it mean to be an entrepreneur, a woman entrepreneur, and an entrepreneur of color. So changing that mindset. We do different programming and workshops, really just building sisterhood. So that way we can kind of learn and grow from each other. We have co-working labs where you can come and just dedicate 3 hours of uninterrupted time to really just get stuff done outside of the day-to-day life that we live. And then we do hands-on professional developments, and then just socials, just time to let our hair down, increase connections, sharing our successes and our struggles and learning from each other always.
I need to get a clock that doesn't make that noise. I think that's rude. It feels like we're at the Grammys. I just stole it off YouTube. Okay. I'm stalking Brown Sugar Collective. You've got a new follower on there.
Yay. You have to pull up on us, Erin.
That would require me leaving my house.
Yes.
Erin does leave her house a little bit, but she needs to come to a social.
Yes.
I leave my house very often. I do. It's just after 3 and at kids stuff. It's exhausting.
Erin can host Brown Sugar Collective at her pool when it opens in June.
Yeah, it's at my house.
Oh.
No, but I do have a great space too down in the Vine District. I do have an office. So.
Oh yes, yeah. We had a Top Gun event there last year.
Oh yeah.
Because
mine was the empty one right there. You saw with all the cool friends.
Erin, see, you're such a connector, but you're out and about, but you're virtual.
It's all online. It's all online. This is what I do for a living. Okay, Shawn. What are your 2024 goals, and how can the Kansas City community help you get there?
Yeah. So I had a close friend tell me a long time ago, your network is your net worth, right? And so one thing that I have loved about inundating myself into this, new job is all the great people that I have met. So for 2024, it's just going to be continuing to build on those relationships. I love when I go to a coffee and I meet a civic leader or a business owner or someone who's just well connected, and I can't even get back to my computer without having 2 more emails of 2 other great people in the community that I need to meet with. So we understand that the business of employment is complex. Everything that we do is complex. And so I try not to make it about what I do, what Lever One does, how we can help their business. It's just really getting to know people, building relationships, and really understanding more about them. I want to get more involved in the civic side of things. So Xavier, I would love to, grab coffee with you soon and learn more about the work that you do. And of course that just kind of, spawns into so many more conversations that can happen. So I want to get more involved with the community. Want to get more involved with helping businesses and just be a resource for them, help them alleviate things that they don't want to have to deal with their business. And as for how the community of Kansas City can help me, make introductions, right? Let's just continue to get to know each other better.
So Shawn, I was just at lunch with a very big time female CFO, and she was 5 minutes early and she left 5 minutes before the end of the meeting to get to her next meeting. And Peter Maluk does a wonderful job at creative planning of that. You strike me as well. If you don't reschedule, you are always on top of it. Where does that trait come from? And do you see it as a good trait to have?
I actually just posted about it this morning on my LinkedIn. So I'm a little bit.
I did not read it, I swear.
No. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a military buff. So for me, I try to stick to strict principles, right? And, I have a lot of respect. I talked to it earlier. In the first 9 days, I started with Lever One. The first day was January 9th when we started meeting. We had 5 meetings aligned. We had, 6 inches of snow hit. Within the next 9 days, we were hitting sub-zero temperature. And of the 21 meetings scheduled, only one person rescheduled with us. And I mean, I gained a lot of respect for those, individuals that didn't reschedule. And, that's just always something I've lived by is be early, don't reschedule unless there's absolutely an emergency that you can't, get out of. But those principles have always stuck me. I never served myself, but a lot of respect for those who have. Thank you all for your service.
Yeah, Peter Maluk, who, by the way, Peter Maluk's favorite social media star, Aaron Fulk, and it's very true. But Peter would always say, I think he's the most impressive entrepreneur we have in Kansas City. And he said, how do you get free time? And he says, when people reschedule. And I'm like, what? People reschedule? And it's just so mind blowing. I think that on the people watching the show, if you just don't reschedule, you're fine. But people that reschedule, it's just mind blowing. So just interesting that you always are on top of it.
I'll give $10 to whoever can. $10. I don't know. So I'll give a prize to somebody who can tell me who's originally said your network is your net worth. I googled it. You guys know?
John Stamos.
No. What? No.
Some guy named Tim.
Tim who?
Oh, am I
Tim
right?
Ferriss?
No, it's a Tim.
That's all I got for you. If I get the Tim part
Apple?
right, I'll take that. That's a win.
Tim Sanders.
Oh,
Okay.
Tip of the tongue.
Originally said, so you only get $5. Your network.
hey, that's a cup of coffee. I'll take it.
Right.
Awesome. All right. Well, look, we are at time. I want to thank all of our guests, both Xavier and Shawn, for coming on today. Thank you so much to Bestway International for sponsoring. Thank you, Scott, for being such a great host and doing so good at your question. You're really getting it down. Now that we're almost through Q1, you're really nailing it. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching at the replay, make sure you comment. Make sure everybody goes and connects with our guests. And we will see you same time, same place next week. Thanks, y'all.